Hello, guys. Thank you very much for making it here today. Me and Dana just wanted to say a few things before we get the party started and get something to eat, because I know we're all probably pretty hungry right now. So I'm going to start this with thank you, everybody, for being a part of our Tex-Mex wedding. Just wanted to share a few words before we get dinner started. Clark, Shelley, today would not be happening if it weren't for the both of you. I want to take you back 6 years. Clark wants to introduce me to her hot blonde friend, and she invites me out. I reluctantly show up and get shut down immediately. Later I find out, that one right there, Shelley, told Dana, you know, he is pretty funny. You should give him a chance. And lucky for me, she did. She did give me a chance, and now we're making each other laugh ever since. I wanted to say a deep thank you to Derek for officiating the wedding. Beautifully done, sir. Where are you at? There he is. You were the first person to know that I wanted to marry your Dansky. You looked at me in silence for all of 2 seconds before you said, being a husband is the best decision I have ever made. You're going to be an amazing husband. That day I asked if you would officiate our wedding, and the rest is history. Thank you for doing this for us.
Okay. I've also want to take a quick moment, if I may, and make this not about us for just 1 second. I've known this guy for almost 10 years, a little over. But for the last 3 years, I really wanted to plan his birthday and could never really nail down the right time and place. But today, I did it, Matt, so if you could stand up for me. It's his birthday, and if we could all say on the count of 3, happy birthday to Matt, that'd be awesome. So 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Matt!
It is not lost on us that many of you traveled far, got sitters, booked airfare, hotels, and most importantly, your time to be here with us. Seriously, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much.
If you can do me the honor of my next request, Mom and Dad, can you please stand up? And Elizabeth, Clay, Chance, and Shelley, also please stand up. And now, this is going to be a lot. If I've ever been a part of your wedding, please also stand up. All right. Now, as you can see, we're surrounded by love. From a 1-year anniversary.
I'm going to take over for a second. From a 1-year anniversary to her best friend celebrating 20 years, to Dana's wonderful parents celebrating almost 50 years of marriage. You got it?
Oh, sorry. Whew. Okay. I always thought I would always be the bridesmaid and never the bride. But supporting love as the love in this room, that would have been okay. My day has come, however, and it means the world to me, sorry, my eyes are bad, to have all of you here supporting me finding my love.
I know we're all hungry, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Those of you standing can sit down. Thank you for that. Bill and Linda, I wanted to say thank you. Not just because you raised and loved the love of my life, but because from the moment I met you both, you loved me as your own. When I first met you, Bill, and I hugged you goodbye for your flight back to Texas, you softly said to me, take care of my daughter while I'm gone. And I've done my very best to do exactly that.
Where's that? Sorry, Jesse. I also want to take this moment to thank you. You raised a wonderful, respectful man, and I know you must be proud. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Let's have a good night.
this, but the love kind of just like you guys are in the background, and I think it's actually a good metaphor because in the Bible it's actually the most commonly used word. But the thing we heard tonight, I was counting, and my wife knows I count a lot. We actually heard it. It's actually over 22 times that when you guys were talking about your wedding and you're the sinner, and yet the love truly does. Everybody can see this from out there. Overshadows you, and the words you used the most were thanks. Used it 22 times, actually, just in your short period of time. So what is really cool about this, that we're about to give thanks, is that we have a lot to give thanks for, right? And a lot that's provided to us. We have this beautiful setting and everything. So with that, if you'd bow your head, and we'll give thanks to the Lord. Dear Lord, we just come to you, and we give you thanks. We know you're here. We see you in the form of love, but we know love's present. It's so evident in Dana and Luis, and they're overwhelmed and they're overcome, and we are too, as we see that physical representation of your hand on them, and it does overwhelm them, and their tears of joy and in our presence here. We just give thanks to you for all things. We ask that you give us wisdom as we make decisions, and we ask that you are continue to be not only a part of their life, but the center of their life as you have been bringing them together. Amen.
Okay, as much as I like to talk, I don't like to talk. I didn't write anything. I'm going by the heart right now, and most people think I would talk about me and Dana and all of our experiences. But I don't want to talk about me and Dana, I want to talk about Louise. I want y'all to know that when Shelly came home, she said, I think we met the guy that's going to be Dana's husband. And Shelly doesn't travel much. I mean, she only went out because it was The Walking Dead, and she just happened to be on their first date. And she came home, and she's like, found somebody. And then Candy and I were out in California for work, and Louise came with Dana to our hotel. And Dana was never the touchy-feely person. Why do you have to talk to somebody on the phone all the time? Why are you always touching somebody? And the way they looked at each other, and he would rub her shoulder, and she would call him darling and sweetheart. I knew there was something there, because I'd never seen Dana act like that with anybody before, ever. And then fast forward to March of 2019, we had a trip planned out to Newport Beach and Big Bear. And that was the first time everybody got to meet Louise. And he fit in like he knew our family for years. We went to dinner, we played yard toss, you and Clay were buying each other beers and buying dad beers. And it was like, if anybody would have seen us, they would have thought y'all had been married and we had all been there on a family vacation. And I knew then y'all had something special. And so I just want to make it short and sweet and say, welcome to the family. You are her perfect match, and you are great for our family, and we welcome you.
All right, hey everyone. So, real fast, I've known Louis for going on 12 years now. So, no, he's Louis. He is Louis. I'm not going to get to that. So him and I were actually introduced by a mutual friend. So we were told that we would get along, so naturally we hated each other. So he had the nerve to question me on my Batman knowledge. So I knew right there, I thought we wouldn't go anywhere past coworkers. But in time, we went from coworkers to friends, and now I see him like a little brother. So like a big brother would, I only wanted the best for him. And so one day, he introduces me to a girl he's seeing, Dana. About 5 feet and some change, carries herself like she's 6'5". She had the exact same sense of humor as us and zero tolerance for bullshit. So I respected her immediately. In time, though, I got to bond with her. We shared our hopes, our dreams, where we want to live, where we want to work, and I got to see what Louis saw in her. I saw she was a beautiful person inside and out. I got to see them grow life together. from dating to living together to this. And I watched her bring out the best in him. I see the glances that they shared when they thought no one was looking, because you guys stare at each other a lot. Like teenagers in love. So now I get to be here celebrating the two of them, and I'm honored, and I see myself gaining a little sister. So Dana, welcome to the family. I love you both, and I wish you both nothing but the best.
Man, how do I compete with them? Guys, the reason why you're here is because of me. Okay, I have a whole speech. And they were very worried about what I was going to say, because people that know me, I'm a firecracker. It's a wild card. You throw dices. Okay. So thank you, Dansky and Lewiski and Derek, for giving us that nickname. Thank you, Dansky and Lewiski, for sharing your special day with us. A big thank you to your parents for giving us magnificent, strong, loving, kind, and saucy, hilarious jerks. They are some jerks. Sometimes you're lucky and friends become your family. And this is true for many of us that were standing alongside of you guys. We would do just about anything for you guys. Besides cake, booze, and love, the reason we're here today is because I knew that these two would hit it off and become each other's lock and key. And it's disgusting. They don't even need any rust, WD-40. They're both super witty, honest, straightforward, funny, loud, and have so much love to give around them. They both love people at face value and would never make anyone feel less than, unless they're protecting a loved one. And I'm always a product of that. Their loyalty to their family, friends are unmatched. But make no mistake, one can be a dipshit. So in the name of love, when things get tough in life, let your love, smack-talking skills, and support for each other conquer your battles together. You may not be each other's first love, but you'll be each other's last love, and that's what really counts. And forever has a nice ring to it, because my boy dropped a pretty penny on that. So cheers to forever, dipshats. Congratulations, Eric and I love you from the bottom of our hearts.
I'm Erin. I met Dana when we were both working for Barnes & Noble. She had gotten hired about 6 months before me, and so I was the new girl. And she came up and introduced herself, and I heard her accent, and I said, "Oh my gosh, where are you from?" And she said, "Navasota," which was only about, shout out, Navasota table. That was only about 10 miles from where I grew up, and so I don't want to speak for Dana, but I think we both knew in that moment, like, let's do this, let's be friends. And so we made a commitment and said, let's go out for New Year's Eve, that's coming up. Which, that's a pretty big holiday, like we just met, now we're going out for New Year's Eve. Could go one of two ways, and she wasn't quite the professional drinker that she is today, but that's a compliment. Bill and Linda, you raised a good girl. Like she wasn't wild back then. But I expected her to make it to midnight, but she didn't. But I did feel bad putting her in that cab at 9 p.m. and waving goodbye. And it's okay. We gave our friendship another shot, and the rest is history. We've made so many memories since then, and that was back in 2004. So fast forward to 2017. I took a girls' trip to Temecula. There were like 7 girls, and drove to Temecula. And we're from Vegas, and she drove in from LA to meet us. And she had totally sharpened her drinking skills since then. She could do a wine tour, no incidents, super fun. And I remember when she got there, she had just met this guy and gone on a date. I think you had just met this guy like 2 days beforehand. She was glowing and talking about how, this might lead to some more dates in the future. We were super excited for her, wanted to hear all about him. And our friend Lauren, who's also here, we gave her some really great advice after drinking wine for 12 hours. And we were at a karaoke bar at that point. We said, let's call this new guy. Let's just put him on speakerphone right now. I think that's the best idea anyone's ever had. So we did, and he picked up the phone, and super nice, and obviously that guy was Luis. And so thank you, Luis, for picking up the phone, and you're welcome for the awesome advice back then. It worked out. So I actually just remembered I had to write this speech a few days ago. And I was sitting at lunch with my daughter, who's 12, and she could see I was struggling. Like, how do you sum up a friendship of 20 years into, a 2-minute speech? And she's like, Mom, how are you going to write a speech? You don't remember shit. I mean, she didn't say shit, but her tone. Even if she had said shit, I wouldn't be mad because she's totally right. I don't remember anything. But she said, Mom, let me just write that speech for you. So I said, okay, and it took her about 30 seconds. And I have her speech right here. So one sentence, I think we can squeeze it in. Okay, so this is Shay's speech to you. Dana is an amazing person, but she doesn't like Ferris wheels. So keep that in mind, Luis. I had no idea what that meant. What? I don't remember shit, remember? So she reminded me that when she was 4, my daughter, Dana and I took her to California Adventure. And not a lot to do when you're 4 at California Adventure, but there is a Ferris wheel. And so we get up there, and there's 2 lines to the Ferris wheel. One is for the carriage that is bolted in 4 places and just goes around like your normal Ferris wheel. And then the other line is for that carriage that is missing 3 out of 4 of those bolts. And the 4th one's like halfway unscrewed, so it's like dangling, and there's no signage either. So you just have to like pick the line you want to stand in, and then you get up there and say, surprise. It's not like this line to live and this line to die. It's not like that. So just take a minute and guess which line we picked. Yes, the bolt, unscrewed. So we get on there, and Dana immediately starts crying because we're dangling from the atmosphere. And she's crying the whole time. I mean, sobbing. Like, my daughter's loving it, but I think in that moment we thought, we're going to die right. And it wasn't like tears like, Disneyland is so awesome. Not like those kind of tears. It was just, we're going to die here. But I'm glad she brought that story back up from the depths of my memory, because marriage is a lot like that Ferris wheel. You're taking it the wrong way. Most of the time, Ferris wheels are really great and safe, and you get to the top and you enjoy the view with your spouse, and it's amazing. But other times you cry and think you're going to die, and it's just temporary. It's just marriage isn't temporary, but those times are temporary, and most of the time it's great. So to you too, I wish you nothing but smooth sailing, and lots of laughs, and just nothing but tears of joy from here on out. Okay, so if I had a glass, I'd raise it. Cheers to Dana and Luis. I love you both. Love you. Cheers.
Don't make me cry.
I hope not. First off, I want to thank all of y'all for being here. This is amazing that this big a group could come together for Luis and Dana. I appreciate y'all, all the effort y'all put out to be here. The story I want to tell about Dana is in 2003, Linda and I bought a Toyota 4Runner. And bought Dana, or she started paying for a 2003 Toyota Echo. If you've never seen an Echo, it's about this big. It's not a very big car. And before she got out of college, she said, Daddy, if you'll help me pay this off, you'll never have to pay for a wedding. It was hard not to take that deal. I mean, really, you know. She didn't owe that much money on it, so I said, okay. And so we got that. She drove the car till 2010, and when she came to California, we sent her to California with a 4Runner. Linda got a new Enclave. I got the 2003 Echo. Not a bad deal. A few years later, she has an accident out on the 405 or 103 or what all the numbers are, and totals it. And we give her whatever it's worth to buy her a new car. Of course, she had to pay for the car and the insurance. She said, "Daddy, I don't like being grown up." I said, "Well, this is life." So that was life, right? And fast forward to a year ago or so, and they get engaged, and I'm still driving the 2003 Echo. 229,000 miles. It doesn't know when to stop, but I love the car. I love Dana. I love Luis. And it's going to keep on going, right? Okay. The next story, or not a story, is I've had a son-in-law for almost 16 years, 15 and a half. 18. What? Shit! All you old people. Damn! He's been my favorite son-in-law for all that time. Now you've got competition. I have a great family. I've got a great son, a great daughter-in-law, my favorite granddaughter, and 2 grandsons that are pretty good, you know. But anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. I love these two, and I wish them the best. Thank you. Love you. You got it, buddy.